Mike, we are rolling. Yes, we are. Hello. It is Reverend Sully, Eric O'Sullivan, ordained on the internet. The caveat, as always, please do not burn your hands holding on to my hot takes. If you do, then that's on you, okay? It's Star Wars Saturday, and it's time for my Kylo Ren hot take. Yes, this is when I'm taking the existing pieces of what we were given and I'm just doing something with it. It's called making a Star Wars story out of it. And, okay, so Kylo Ren. I identify with him the most in the sequel trilogy. He's my favorite part of the sequel trilogy. Come on, we all know that Adam Driver, really rocked that role, whatever he was given with. He was pretty much the best part of the entire sequel trilogy. Kylo Ren is a lot like me. I feel this. I'm not gonna disclose any secrets or anything. I've seen a lot of trauma. I've experienced a lot of trauma growing up in my very young years and in my teenage years and also in later life. And guess what? We all have to include 9/11 in that as well. What we saw on the TVs that day and what we still see 20 years afterwards, that is also trauma. That was real, okay? And you need to accept that and maybe reintegrate this back into our hearts. But Kylo Ren, Ben Solo, came from a broken home. His parents divorced. His dad was a deadbeat dad. He was incredibly emotional and incredibly spiritually powerful. He was an only child. So he had a single working mother. And he was also left in the charge of two people that filled in an avuncular role with him wherein he was abused. Now, I'll put the link down low at the end of this video about my feelings about what Rian Johnson did to Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi. Using film theory, I suggest that Luke is a metaphoric child abuser coming into Ben Solo's tent in the middle of the night. His teenage, helpless, nephew, his ward, his responsibility. He came into his tent at night, whipped out his lightsaber, and tried to use it on the young man. Yeah, there's a metaphor in there. Hello. It's an abuse metaphor. That was an abusive situation. And compared to Rashomon, which used 3 flashbacks, it's the Kurosawa reference that is Star Wars. Ben Solo has a high ACE score. An ACE score means adverse childhood experiences. It's a 10 question test, and the higher the score, the worse off you are, I guess. The data supports that you'll have a shorter life, that you'll probably be victim to violence, do time in jail, and even have substance abuse problems and emotional problems. Most people don't have an ACE score over 2, I think. I'm not telling you mine. It's higher than yours. But I'm going to suggest that Ben Solo has a very high ACE score. And the abuse he received from Uncle Luke is part of that. And also, the abuse he received from Uncle Snoke was a part of that. And so here you are, Ben Solo, you're now Kylo Ren. You have grown up to be the most powerful man in the galaxy. And yet, your own worst enemy is yourself. It's not Hux, it's not Rey, it's not Snoke, or even, our dovetailed Palpatine at the end. It's himself, in his struggle and his turmoil between his fair nature and what he wants in his hot-favored rage. And because both get results, and he's a very tempestuous individual. He's very emotionally compromised. I was like this for a long time. Anger, tantrums. Those scenes of him lashing out and temper tantrums in The Force Awakens, once again, I identify with that. I would punch walls. I would break things. And why? Because of my anger, because of my inability to cope with this anger. And this was my coping mechanism, was to destroy things. And so Ben Solo, what I think should have been Ben Solo's thing, not much. I mean, Kylo Ren pretty much had the only character arc in the entire trilogy, the sequel trilogy. Seriously, he started off one place and he ended at another one. Rey, no. Finn, pretty much just like had this thing at the Force Awakens, and no. Poe, he's a cipher. He's anything you need him to be. Dio, let's not talk about Tross. No, let's not talk about that at all. Was that even Kerry Russell? Except for that one scene where we see her eyes. I swear that was her stunt double the entire time in ADR. But I digress. There's not much to fix with Kylo Ren. I mean, besides, the Gap sweater thing and just the story beats leading up to the climax. I mean, my favorite part of Tross, you got to have something good to say about everything, I guess, was the Han Solo shrug when he was facing off against his Knights of Ren brothers. But there's not much to fix with Kylo Ren. But I would say that I think there was a failed opportunity there at a relationship. This is my Star Wars skew on it. Okay, taking the pieces that we have. I saw that there was a relationship there that could have been better fleshed out. And I think it was between Hux and Kylo Ren. I think they should have been the couple. And to have actually the gay kiss in The Rise of Skywalker so easily put in the end to be edited out, which it was for Singapore and United Arab Emirates. I mean, it wasn't brave enough to put, an actual, gay love story in there. People were saying, Finn and Poe, or, and I'm like, you don't see Hux and Kylo Ren? I mean, the entire basis of their relationship is like, is grudge sex or something. But this is what I thought should have happened. And especially to what they did to Hux, who I think could have been a lot better. In Rise of Skywalker, you have Hux, and he's kneeling down, and he's about to be decapitated by Kylo Ren. And he looks up and he says, "I love you." And Kylo goes, "I know." And cuts his head off, to balance out Lor Santeca and The Force Awakens. But, for betraying, Kylo Ren to the Resistance. Not, but I'm in the rebellion. Go Gina Carano. And I love you, Drunk 3PO. And that's about it. I mean, I'm not gay. I'm not coming out of the closet. I'm just more of seeing a wasted potential of an authentic story beat that could have been very Star Warsy. And this is the entire sequel trilogy. We're just missing Star Warsy things. It's trying to sell us on trappings, but it just wasn't Star Wars. There weren't things hiding in plain sight. Not Rey, and not Palpatine's kludgy solution. Oh gosh, and then please check out Plaid Palpatine. He needs your love and support. But that's about it. I mean, Kylo Ren, he was the best part of the sequel trilogy for me, for this guy. Adam Driver is a great actor, and I just wish there was just that they did better. They played better with their action figures. They just didn't, and we were left with this, unsatisfactory sequel trilogy, and very few people like it, and they're very vocal about it. Liking it, and we're like some kind of weird other toxic fan for not liking it. And I don't buy that either. But what I do buy is that KYLO REN was hands down my favorite part of the sequel trilogy. I'll never watch Tross again. I don't even own it on DVD or Blu-ray. I won't. My Star Wars collection will remain incomplete, and I'm fine with that. Heck, I'm going to invest in a DVD copy of the holiday special if I can find it to replace my VHS long gone. I would rather have that than The Rise of Skywalker. Ooh, wow, what a stinker. Wow. Well, that's about it for today, and thank you so much for tuning in. Give me a thumbs up if you like my content and my skew on Star Wars. Give me a thumbs down if you disapprove of me even liking something of the sequel trilogy. Leave a comment in the comment section, and if you give me a subscribe if you'd like. I do a Star Wars Saturday hot take once a week. I've got so much to say about Star Wars. I'll say it once a week. Thank you so very much. I'll see you next week when I'm going to tell you the story of how Star Wars saved my life. It gave me my spiritual awakening at a very young age, and I've kept that all this time. Thank you so much. Namaste, and may the Force serve you well. That's Force lightning. Thank you so much. Cheers.